And just to close, so this is a space where everyone's opinions and experiences are very welcome. And I am the sort of janitor who lets people in and goes with the whip when somebody's speaking too long. So don't mind me. And I think we're going to jump right into it because we don't want to stay here the whole day. So Nitin, can I give you the floor right away?
Okay, so what we're going to do is we've come up with an innovative format where some of us are presenting 10 pictures from our trip to South Korea. And we're going to talk about each picture for not more than 20 seconds so that it's a quick breeze through or a walk through our journey and what was our own personal insights from the first forest therapy conference in South Korea. Okay, so I'm going to start off to set the ball rolling and to just maybe test out how the timing works and share my 10 pictures and talk about what was my experience. Okay, so here goes. 1 second, let me set up the pictures. Okay. Can you see the pictures now?
Yes. And can I just say that everyone, if you want to hide the speaker view, you can do so from your own. So we cannot control it for you, but you can hide so that you only see Nitin and the images or just the images. Go ahead, Nitin.
So this was my first time in South Korea, and I was amazed by the beauty of the landscape. You know, we took a drive everywhere. This particular shot is from a morning in Daejeon city, and no wonder Korea is known as the land of the morning calm. And there was also an interesting thing, despite the prosperity and despite all the built-up structures, I felt that life was quite mechanical. You know, this is a shot of people going back home on a weekend of Saturday night after working. Whereas in New York, where people would be partying, in South Korea, it's just a normal weekday for most people. So I felt that these long work hours is affecting not just the working population, but also that the marriage rates are falling and the fertility rates are falling in Korea. And Korea is ending up with a large number of population in the seniors age, which puts a pressure on the finances of the country. But it also requires a better health system. And even the young people, I felt, you know, they were more glued to screens. There were not as many young people in the forest as I would see maybe in India or when I've traveled to the US or Europe. And I felt many of the people, especially in the cities, they have so many things to do in the city that they don't get time to go out in the forest. And yet, when you walk out in nature, South Korea is 60%, 64% of South Korea is covered in these beautiful forests. There's a mountain range which runs right across the country, and it is known as the Energy Spine Mountain, where people across ages, through generations, have gone to and taken refuge in the mountains to heal and find their energy back. And what was really beautiful and what really touched me was how much the Korean Forest Services and the Korean Forest Welfare Institute has invested in reconnecting people to nature, in trying to bring them back. So they have set up these recreation forests all across and some beautiful locations where you can go camp, hike, do sports, forest sports. And not only that, they have set up a very well-structured form of forest therapy and forest welfare, where they've trained guides to conduct programs. They've built walkways, trails across different forests. And They even have these centers, some beautiful centers across Korea where you can learn about forest education for younger people, but about also forest therapy or forest welfare. So you can get trained here, or you can live here within the forest where and experience those walks. This was a center where in Daejeon, the forest education center where we were staying, and it was in the middle of this beautiful hill, surrounded by lush forest with many trails which were marked. So it was a great experience. Then after the trip, I had the chance to spend a few more days in Seoul, back to Seoul, and then coming back to Seoul, you felt again what a big divide there is. It's as if you're living in two different planets. And here you see one of the neighborhoods of Seoul where you can just count the trees on your fingertips. And then you wonder that people living in these houses, how will they get connected to the nature? How will they get connected to forests? Even the television shows and the media that you see on screen never shows the beauty of forests. Like I never realized how beautiful Korea was nature-wise until I had a chance to visit that place. So it was like, the metaphor was of this last beautiful fall foliage where you see that nature goes through seasons and cycles. And there is fall, but after that, there is winter. But after winter, again, the cycle changes to summer and fall. So maybe there was a time when the Koreans were deeply connected to nature. And now somehow they've lost that connection, but it's just a passing phase. And we are soon going to see another rejuvenation of or reconnection with nature with all the efforts that are being done. So this was my 10 pictures. Okay.
In, was this annoying?
Did you press it? I didn't
hear it.
You didn't?
I was entranced by that, Nitin. I was entranced. It was a wonderful.
So you didn't hear that? So the timing was really good. You were shorter in some of them and longer in some, but you didn't hear the bell.
No.
I thought we were completely in sync.
No.
Well, you are in sync. Of course you're in sync.
Okay, can you hear it now?
No.
No,
Why?
I think you have to activate sound for musicians, something like that. There's one function that makes musical instruments to
I
be
think I'm
heard.
gonna have to cough. I'm sorry, but
No. Let me do that
Well,
then. I have a bell, a Tibetan bell that I'll use the bell to tell people.
okay,
If they
thank you.
But I'll be more lenient than 20 seconds. I'm not going to be that strict. Okay.
Okay. Good. And yeah, good. So then now we have Jin as next speaker, and Dr. Boom Park, who can introduce himself, but who invited us over and who has been in Finland also in 2019 and also was in 2020 taking part in our online edition. So it was really lovely to be able to come and share about IFTDays in Korea and learn. So take it away, Jin. We don't hear you.
okay.
Oh, there.
Can you hear me? Okay.
Yes.
My name is Jin Park from Chungnam National University in South Korea. Actually, I'm the host of this conference of the forest therapy held this fall. And actually, first of all, I would like to thank you, Calvin, Nitun, and all of the forests, a friend of IFT Days, because they inspired me to hold an event like this in Asia. And I would like to share my photos. This is a group photo taken in Hasun. The event was attended by 80 forest therapists from more than 10 countries. Until now in Asia, we have many meetings our researchers study forest therapy, but this is the first time the forest therapy practitioners they spend time sharing experience and information with each others. Uh, I think you can recognize Mr. Newton as he walked slowly through the forest. He explained what he could see and hear. All of these things were originally in the forest, but we often pass by them without recognizing them. And Mr. Kim, who is a Korean forest therapist, explained how to use wood chip to feel nature. And Ms. Zhang, who is Chinese forest therapist, she introduced team medicine. And Ms. Zhang, who is Korean forest therapist, she demonstrated a singing bowl meditation programs. And now you are watching a demonstration of rope game. And this photo shows us making natural mandala using pollen leaves. And this is the Forest Education Center in Daejeon. And some of attendants went up to the observation deck to watch the sunrise. And this is the picture of night walking in forest. They are holding a traditional Korean lantern called 청사초롱. And okay, this is the last photo. Is a flag signed by attendants themselves. This flag is now my best memory and treasures. Actually, in Asian countries such as Taiwan, Japan, and China, they are prepared to host the second Congress. So I look forward to providing you information about the next Congress soon. And unfortunately, we Asian group don't have a fancy name like IFTDays yet. It's still a newborn with no name, but I'm hopeful that organizations in Asia will contact with IFTDays in the future. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Din. Would you want to just share anything else from like your biggest learning of having these from over 10 countries, these practitioners together?
Actually, they have a very big passion to share their information and they want to learn many things from foreign specialists. So I believe if we make the other event like this, I think many people want to join us to share their information and experience. Oh. So this is the reason why I want keep going, keep continue uh, next Congress in Asia.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, there's a lot of power when people come together. It's really lovely to have these small moments of connection. Okay, then Paul, do you feel ready to can you present next?
Sure,
Actually,
it's my pleasure. So let me try to. Right, can you see my photos?
Yes.
Okay, so for me, I would like to share about my feeling and what I learned from different forest therapy workshop. We are in South Korea, And as you can see, this is the first photo for us. This is the 4 part gifts of the workshop. And this is the first slide that I think we have a different kind of topic. And actually, we don't discuss it before we arrive Korea in the past time. But after we arrive, we just discuss it on the day before the workshop. And when we are discussing about our workshop, we found out that we are focusing on different parts. For example, from the Japanese group, we provide participants with a deep scientific understanding of the importance of forest therapy for human body. And for Nitin from India, he provides something different, provide some information about how to use the sightseeing with the 2 eyes, with the eyes to learn things in the forest. And the group from the China, she used the tea ceremony, which represents something special in the forest, which you can drink with the taste. And I used the flavor of the forest. So this is the first impression for me that is so different from different country. So now I'm going to share some photos. This is the sharing that I found out that most of the people who are very interested with the things the label we put it on our forest therapists in Taiwan, although we just have finished our training and start to have the forest therapist this year. And so this is quite new in Taiwan, but there are lots of forest therapists right now in Taiwan. There are more than 30 forest therapists. And from the China team, most of the participants, they only taste the tea and they learn something from the tea ceremony. But it's a pity for me that I cannot attend this program. And so I went to their room to ask them what exactly the program is. So it's very happy that the China team, they showed me the whole program workshop again to me, again in their room. So you can see that they are wearing their pajamas because I went there at night time in the evening. And first of all, they will share the photo and the pictures, and you are going to pick a photo or a pictures which related to the forest and your mind at the first sight. And then they will try to focus on why do you pick up those photos, or why do you pick up those different color of the pictures. And that's how the way that the people, they will share their insight and thoughts to each other. So I think this is a good idea when we are doing the forest therapy, because we use different kind of things to help us to share our thoughts together. And the next one is from the Korean participants who gives out the singing bowl. For me, we have some singing bowl program in Taiwan, but actually the singing bowl program normally we will use it and holds in the indoor. So it's hard for us to imagine that we can do the singing bowl experience outdoor in the forest. So this is other impression that I have in this workshop. So the photo shows that when the teacher is doing the singing bowl, people can sit or maybe lay down on the grassland, so they can feel much more better. And even during the workshop, they can also hear the sounds from the birds or from the insects. And this is the same photo which Jane just showed us, because I like this. And this is the photo which I take it also from a lot of participants in Taiwan because they think the rope game is a very nice game. We can use it for ice breaking in the forest therapy program. And the other side, when we are participants in the forest, you can see that in this photo, people take off their shoes and socks. I think this is also another way because normally people in Taiwan, when we are holding the forest therapy program, we tend not to take off their shoes and socks if the grassland is not so dry. But on that day, all the participants will take out of their shoes and take off their socks to step on the wet land or step on the road that is not so dry. This is another different kind of experience for those participants. I think this is also a good part in the forest therapy program. And in the other team, this is the last photo I would like to share to everyone because we have a lot of woods in Taiwan, and for me, a forest therapy is the way to bring people into the forest. But our goal will be we need the forest and the people to be healthier together. It's a kind of one health concept. So in Taiwan, we tend not to cutting trees, but nowadays we try to do some thinning. And after we do some thinning, we will have some woods. We can make it to make it like the forest, the wood sticks, or maybe something like dominoes, and which represent that in my child time, I tend to play a lot of domino games. I like it a lot. But nowadays, students or children, they don't know what is a domino game. So I think this is a good idea to bring the domino back again. For example, you can see that we make the dominoes, we make the castle together. It spends a lot of time, and if we destroy it, it only spends for 1 or 2 seconds. So this is also a good idea for people to do the forest therapy workshop and to sharing the idea of mindfulness. So that's all for what I would like to share. This is my impression in the South Korea workshops. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Paul. Paul is indeed from Taiwan Forest Therapy Society. If I understand correctly, you're not only a guide yourself, but you're a teacher and a trainer as well, kind of a central figure in the Taiwan forest therapy scene.
Yes, I'm also the center of the training system from Taiwan Forestry Bureau.
Okay, so he's the guy if you want to get in contact with the Taiwanese forest therapy scene. Thank you so much, Paul. I really like that you put the findings were there already, so I'm going to go back to the video after. I have been trying to connect with our European ladies on the chat, but I didn't get your attention. But Katarzyna, would you be okay to share yours now?
Yes, thank you very much. I will try. I'm not the best one in technique things, but I hope it will work for us. Can you see my pictures?
Yes.
Okay, because I'm sorry, I wasn't able to pick one, so I made collage, but there are 10, so I'll be quick. My first impression from Korea was that the forest was from the very beginning. We met a lot of nature and art on the airport, and then when we were traveling, we saw this advertisement about the Congress, and then we went to a beautiful cottage, and the soundscape full of crickets was amazing. And it was like, I tried to go farther, but I don't know how to do it. Just give me a second, please. It's not working. Oh, okay. So it was like a fairy tale, like a cartoon, but look, everything was real, even a cat who was our guest there. So we spent amazing time, and the impression of simplicity and close nature around us with all the sounds of birds and crickets and the food, which also connected us to Korean nature. was a very strong impression, and especially the colors of the autumn. I admired the light going through the leaves of maple trees, making amazing experience for us, and architecture as well. Then what was very important for us, it was the gratitude for the hospitality, care, and exchange of our experience, because Poland wasn't, the country which was involved into many international things around forest therapy, and except of Finland, of course, where we were guests of Katrina's. But we felt like we could be a part as our country of a very nice, interesting community, and we were very gratitude for this opportunity. Then my personal experience, many dreams came true, because I saw many species like hinoki, like ginkgo, like bamboo forest, like different beetles, and special meditation places in Korea, which was only in my dreams, and it was very real. So I was very happy to participate. Deep experience of many great forest therapy experiences, different, like tea ceremony, like pulse walk, like a sound ceremony, and essential oils, like Japanese forest bathing. It was really important for me as a practitioner, and it gave me a lot of things to think about, knowledge, experience, sharing, so great. And taking care of us. Special thanks for Jean, because you created so great atmosphere that my kid was so familiar with other kids and their friends. For now, they're chatting. Every detail was full of care and full of mindfulness. And the opportunity that Polish guides who are not participating in the whole event could meet us on this forest therapy walk was so touching, and we felt like we are in so good hands that it was for me very heartwarming, and we will remember it forever. Art, food, and tradition, amazing experience. Not only knowledge, but the food as a part of forest therapy, because it comes from nature, and the artistic field of involving food and spending time together. It was very, very nice. Friendships. I will not say anymore. Friendships, you know what is it about. And a very important thing, summing up this last evening, definitions, discussions, plans, dreams, that we started from something, and I really feel like we're coming to a very nice future together. We have a broad field in front of us, so I'm excited about what it will be like in some time. So these are my 10 pictures, and I would like to finish with extra one just to show you how it was, because in this picture people are looking in different directions, but they're looking at each other. One lady is making picture of a kid, the guy is looking at a teacher, the lady in front is looking from someone else, so everyone was very mindful. And this mindfulness, I think it was our great power, because we created something very nice together. So thank you. It was great, and it's still great in my heart.
Thank you, Katarzyna, for sharing. Can you introduce yourself to people who didn't know who you are, because you are also a central figure in Poland?
Sorry, yeah, I tried to stop my pictures, but maybe okay, I will talk in the meantime. My name is Katarzyna Simonienko. I'm a psychiatrist and forest therapy guide practitioner, and I also work as a researcher, so science as well. And I'm a vice-president of Polish Forest Bathing Guides Association. So it's like this.
Perfect.
Thank you.
So
Thank you. I really try to escape from the pictures. Sorry. Oh, I got it. Thank you.
Great, thank you. Then we have Martina. Are you here? And Nitin, can you share Martina's pictures?
Okay, let me just set them up.
So in the meantime, Martina, maybe you can introduce yourself because we have new people here too.
Martina from Czech Republic, Brno, and I'm doing Forest Mind here in Czech. And I sent 20 pictures because I thought I should send 20. Katrina chose 10, but I don't know which 10, so I'm going to improvise.
Okay, here's so I've already kept all the 20, and then we can skip. So if you tell me next, then I'll switch to the next picture.
I didn't have it. I don't have it so organized as you have it. I just yeah. I think if I should choose one picture for Korea, I would choose this one because there is everything. There is the future technology with the skyscraper. There is the nature, and there is this shelter which I found very like. Something which express the relationship to the nature, and yeah, that's it.
Okay.
The next one. I chose this because I don't know if you know it, but no, Nitin, can you leave it there? Do you know this picture? Do you know it from the television?
Are you seeing the ET?
Yeah. And I chose it because he was like, it was in my childhood, and he wanted to go back home in the film, and I experienced also, I had a big, how to say, I was feeling big pain 2 times, like calling home, like because I was so far away and I'm not used to travel so much. Okay, so then Paul's workshop, and it was one great experience of forest therapy, and I left with confusion because still before Korea, I had explanation of forest therapy, but it is now cut it, and I have to find. I think it should be called forest therapies conference, like not one, but we could add S in the end, forest therapies, because I saw many different therapies, forest therapies. So it is one of them. Discussion in the end about what is forest therapy about. I found it very important, essential. It was by coincidence organized by Paul and Bumjin, but very important for me. It was made by Forest in the Forest Mind workshop in the end, and it was made by some, I don't know, Taiwanese, Chinese, it's not important, but the lady said that it is sign of togetherness, and I like it because I think that's what happened, some connected people, all this, yeah. Next. Yeah, I wanted to just say that we were starting in the conference hall officially, and we were ending to sit down on the floor on the grass, so I found it kind of like nice being together in the circle on the ground. This day, it was the day of how you say it, research, day of full of research, and here I only realized, and after speaking to Bumjin, why the research are so important, because I was still hesitating why we need so much research if we know that the nature is good for us. But Bumjin Park explained me in the bus that his dream is that forest therapy or forest is valued in a medical field. So then I understood that research is important. Yeah, this is the part of soul, not soul, but the technology and future, and interesting and scary in the same time. Yeah, another way of forest therapies, walking barefoot. Another way of forest therapy, and then I ask myself, is it so that you bring the people to the forest and then you have got you can name it forest therapy? You can And I was bringing home a booklet full of wood objects, and I realized only when I was looking at home, it was very heavy to bring it, but I realized how many products there are from Korea, and wood products, and that you can be proud of it. And this is one example of very beautiful thing created from the wood. Yeah, the showing possibility to connect people with the nature, even if it is raining or very hot. Very nice. And these two people, very nice. I think they are doing, from what I talked to them, they are from Hong Kong, working with families and children, and they are doing great job there. And community, connecting to other people. And I realized that what is happening here in Small, when I bring people to the forest, in forest mine, that the forest has some kind of magic. I don't want to that it is researched, this magic, and it is like making people feeling good and happy together and have a strong connection afterwards. Happiness from what happened, and yeah. And that's one lesson I learned. It is that, and what I want, we do it in forest mine, but not often. The stretching, like that, you can start each workshop, lesson, whatever, with stretching. And I think for me it's a good inspiration to do it more. We do it with a stick, like in forest mine, you take a wood stick and you make some exercise, or you can use a tree for that. But yeah, that's one practical thing. And fire, which connects people. We had in Czech Republic this kind of similar event, but in the Czech field, and we had fire as well. So it was in the international level the same.
Okay, that was the last one. Maybe you can end with the song that you sang on this fire night.
What did it you say?
You were singing on this fire night.
Yeah, I know, but I will not sing again.
Okay.
Yeah, but I think singing as well connects. So for next time, we could get some song together and to learn it before and then sing it all together.
Okay.
Thanks a lot, Martina. The singing we did in 2019 as well in Finland with tell me her name. Sound by Nature, Finnish lady who made us sing in the forest. And then we tried it in 2020 online, and let me tell you, that does not work. So it's better to sing in your own places with mute, because there's something going on. But it's indeed, it's a lovely experience. So then, thank you. We will go to Ilse. Ilse stayed a bit longer in Seoul, and she in Korea actually, and she's going to share also those impressions. Ilse, we will share your pictures.
Yes, I sent them to Nitin, so I hope.
Yes. Why don't you introduce yourselves and I'll set it
Oh,
up.
okay. Yes. So I'm Ilse Simons, working as a researcher on the topic of nature connectedness in Belgium. And on the side, I'm also a forest therapy guide, and I have a training in Belgium to train people to become a forest. It's more like a Shinrin-yoku guide or bosbad gids in Dutch. And and as Katrina already said, I stayed a bit longer. I was 12 days longer there because once you're there, it's nice to take the opportunity, if you can, to visit more places. And first of all, I was very happy to hear Jin saying about plans for a second one, because it was really, this community was very strong, and I feel back home, taken back by all the things it's good that, you know, there is also this community there where you can come back to maybe in 1 year. So thanks for saying this. I'm curious, and yeah, thanks a lot, all the things what is already said about
Yeah.
organization. This conference was so amazing. So yeah, I just wanted to add to that. And now I go to my pictures. Yes, when we went, and this was the first room we went in, Katrina knows this place. We went in the room and there was no any furniture there. It was like an empty place. And when we opened the cupboard, we saw this. So this was, yeah, very interesting to me because I'm also into movement and how you move your body. And there I found out people in this kind of places sit a lot on the ground, sleep on the ground. And this was very inspiring to me to see this. And I could see this also in all the people when I saw them moving and sitting on the ground. It's very different from in Europe. And this place is a house where I visited, where I went to afterwards. So I wanted to go out on the land and share time with people. So I booked a house, I booked a room in a house, and I was very lucky to find this house and very nice people who took me out. And this is not how most of the people live. So it's a very particular place, beautiful mountains, as you can see. And I think most of the people, yeah, live in the other houses, like Nitin already showed, and Martina too. So really back from the ground, very high into the sky. And when you see through it, you see also the mountains. So the mountains are still there, but they are much less connected with the building. So I don't know if these people go out in the mountains. I just don't know. And yeah, and then I also put some pictures of tea ceremonies because I came across different types of tea ceremonies during my travel. The one was there on the Congress with the Chinese woman, which was so interesting to see that you can sit there for 1.5 hours and only do tea ceremony. It's a bit like Martina was saying, forest therapy. So there are so different ways of yeah, using this healing power of the forest. I went also to a temple, so you can go. There is this organization which called Temple Stay. You just can click online and stay a couple of days in a temple, and you take in. Yeah, they take.
I think the signal.
Okay, you still hear me?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So I crossed the nun when I was sitting off the bus, and I was sure she was also going to the temple, so I went up with her. And you see that the way to the temple, it's a very important way where people like to go. Now we took a picture because we didn't want to have too many people around us, but actually there were so many people around us taking also that picture because people like to walk to a place, like to a temple. And during the day, there were so many visitors in that.
Yeah, the connection is a bit slow.
Yeah,
We
I
keep
think maybe
missing
we'll
words.
say let's say switches off video, maybe it'll get better.
Okay, yeah. So what I was saying, that people are using a lot this trail towards the temple. Yeah, so it in many places. And also with these beautiful colors of autumn, people are taking a lot of pictures or are doing picnics. So I saw a lot of people going outside, and this was during the day. I saw it actually in Seoul also on Sunday. People were going a lot outside, all dressed up in yeah, special gear for walking also. And this was in Seoul. I went into a shop to buy tea. Uh, uh, and this woman was very nice, and she took me on this big table and was proposing me all kinds of tea of 30 years old. So it's a really, yeah, it's a whole other thing drinking tea than drinking tea here. At the end, I bought just a little bit of tea to make one tea, and it was like 20 euros. So it's an all different price category. And I was very intrigued by this drinking tea ceremony, and that this also is coming into the forest. And I thought there was also another picture there. Yeah, you can continue. Yes, this picture. This was when I went up in the mountains, when there was this temple, and there was one way up, and I met two Korean women, and I was talking to them already before. These were people who also came to the temple stay. So most of the people staying there were people from Korea. And they were sitting there and having their own tea ceremony. And I found it so beautiful to see this organic things that people do it like this and this, and they didn't do like forest therapy. This word was not known for them. Then I had a chance also to visit another forest therapy center in Korea. And this was a beautiful center located in the mountains, not that big because you couldn't stay there overnight. You also only could go there during the day, and there organized sessions for 2 hours for different kind of groups. And the man in his blue dress, he was the therapist of the guide, and he's also dressed like this. So I saw also a medical way of approaching this kind of therapy. So we went outside, but there were also many things to do inside this house with a beautiful view for people who are not that flexible to take walks. So this was there, and I think I put in another picture of the place. Yes, so this was another inside. So we were sitting in a kind of a chair, but you can see it was a desk in front of us. And when you put your legs in there, it became very warm, and it was also shaking, which is good for your blood movement. And it was very interesting. And then you could open this window. So this was open, and you looked over the mountains, beautiful. And then we were served tea. So it was really a very beautiful experience, and quite different than here in Belgium or Europe. I don't know any center like this. Before doing these sessions, they also check out your health or some of the values. So you go in front of this computer, and then it's checking you out, and you do this also afterwards. So it's also another way of approaching it, and this I wanted to share here too. Then they had also like tea ceremony again. This was inside. You see how nice this is prepared. In a circle, a lot of creativity and beauty present. And they also were doing it inside. I'm sure they're also doing it outside.
That's it, I guess. This is your last picture.
Okay, yes. Do I still have time, or? Yeah, I can stop. So yeah, I was so happy to stay a bit longer. And I found also people very, very friendly. People are not, like my career is nothing. And for them, English, it's also very, very far. So when I approach people, in the beginning, they were like, I cannot help you. And when I tried to explain a little bit, then they were so open and helping. So it was very nice experience to see this culture. And the longer you stay there, the less you understand. So you see, it's complex.
Thank you, Ilse. That's a really lovely way to say the longer you stay, the less you understand. Thanks a lot for that. Okay, so these are our impressions. So I would like to first thank all of you who shared your images and the stories. And then I'd like to just open it for the floor to any questions or insights that anyone would like to share from what you heard and saw. So feel free to just open your mic, and then we'll go from there. And then if it becomes a chaos, then you'll just put your hand up, virtual or actual.
If there's no one, I would like to share an idea. I heard that many people who went to Seoul, you are very impressed about the place we sleep, because normally in Taiwan, we tend to sleep on the bed, but not the floor. But I would like to ask what do you think about sleeping on the floor, and what is exactly you think about? And because in Taiwan, we are trying to make some forest therapy site like this for people to sleep on the floor, not on the bed. But I'm still thinking about this. What does everyone think about?
I like to say something on this. I really loved staying on the ground. I found it very important also that it was there. Also sitting on the ground and these low tables. And I just was listening to a woman who is talking about these normal movements that we just outsource them because we're doing exercise to lean again on the chair. So it's so important to integrate this just in our normal life, how it used to be. So to take this, so it's yeah. When I was thinking about also this kind of places in Europe, I say, okay, but this has to be everything on the ground, sitting on the ground, sleeping on the ground. Yeah, it's a beautiful experience. And since this is still connected with your culture, it's really, yeah, important, I would say.
Thanks. Katarzyna?
Thank you. I think that sleeping on the ground, it is healthy. It makes a connection with the earth, so it's being closer to nature. But also, according to ecotherapeutic approach, it gives us kind of roots because it's about tradition of the place we are guests in. So I think it's something is traditional, and it's connecting to nature, and it's connecting to better health. It's a really good thing, and we really enjoyed the minimalistic house, having meals on the floor, having beds on the floor. And if I could choose, I could choose this traditional way. So even if I'm from different culture, but I really appreciated that. So for me, it was great.
Thanks, Katarzyna. Ian, did you have something?
Yeah, it was linked to something after that question. So that's why I took it down again.
Okay.
But while I'm on as well, I mean, I love the idea. I take people on walks and, you know, take the shoes and socks off to touch the ground. And I think and I agree with what you're saying, Katarzyna, about something that's different, changing, you know, doing something differently and experiencing different things is really great for us, especially when we visit different cultures and different countries, and taking ourselves sometimes out of our comfort zones as well is a really good thing to do.
Yeah, I'll add as well, Paul, that I really liked it but I sleep on a futon at home, but it was a little bit harder, and it took me a day to get used to it. So my back was really hurting the second day.
Mm-hmm.
But then when we got back to Seoul and we slept in the bed, again, I had to adjust, and my back hurt the next day. So, but I do personally prefer that as well. Martina?
Thank you. Martina? Martina, you
Don't
have
hear
to...
you, you're muted.
Yes, you muted your...
Sorry. Okay, I've got one question and one idea. Question is that, Katrina, you didn't show your pictures first, and the second is I was thinking what to do next time little bit differently, and what, for example, to me would help to make this experience more better. And I think it would be nice to have some kind of big, I don't know, icebreaker or meeting in the beginning with all the people, mix all of us together. Because it took me a lot of time to realize who is who and to meet the people. So that's what we did here in Czech Republic, that really people mix together from different countries and do it in the beginning. So that's my I don't know, observation. And Katrina, I would like to see your pictures as well and your learning.
Okay, I don't have my pictures, but I can share them. Maybe I can share them on the IFTDays Facebook group.
But also with the some writing, because pictures one thing and the idea.
I promise.
That's it.
Thank you. Okay, anyone else?
I would like to thank everybody, and I'm also super excited to host next event in Pokhara, Nepal. So we feel like we can do similar through my university also. So I'm thinking, thank you for your great pictures and lovely stories. Thank you all.
Hey,
I have a
Camille.
question for Paul, actually.
Yeah.
Yes.
Paul, you showed us that exercise with the rope. You mentioned the rope game. Because I wasn't there, could you explain what you were doing?
Actually, the rope game is held by the Korean forest therapist, and they use it as a ice-breaking game. People have to grab the rope together, and then they are going to grab it and try to go outside the rope with their body. So they have to move their body together, but they are going to stretch their body and to do some kind of like raise their hands or raise their feet, something like this. So they move their body a lot. So for the Taiwanese team, we share a lot about the experience of the rope game, because during the rope game, which helps us a lot to make a circle and to share the way how we connect with each other. So because some of the forest therapists, they say that forest therapy is not only for the connection between the human being and the nature, and also about the connection about human and human. So that's why I think like rope game is quite important, and we can use it in the future.
Yeah, thank you, Paul. That was great. That was great to understand that. I get that. I get that much better now. That experience. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else? I'm wondering where is Vitalia, because our Vitalia always has questions.
Thank you. Good morning, good evening, everyone. Yeah, I think there are many things showing up. Probably for us as Europeans, they are going to Korea. It's all about difference that makes difference, and seeing this vitality that is emerging from difference. So I think we are in kind of different position of observing and paying attention to different things. Maybe I would like to ask a question, referring something that Martina said. Somehow you mentioned that you had, if I understood rightly, that you got impression that everything what happens in the forest, all activities kind of become forest therapy. So I would like, those that's been there attending and immersing into these experiences, do you have same impression? And if so, maybe this is the way to go about forest therapy in this diversity thinking, what is possible in the forest to happen. So I would like to invite you to reflect on that. Is everything what's happening in the forest can be called forest therapies? You suggested even in plural, yeah.
Maybe not everything, because if you're smoking, then that's not forest therapy.
Depends on what you smoke. Sorry.
I think the key information could be science. Sorry if I'm boring, but it's kind of my background. If something is proven to help you on different levels of your health, because I don't mean only physical and mental health, but also spiritual health, also social health. And it's really proven that it's working, and it happens in the forest. So in my opinion, it's therapeutic. So it can be forest therapy, one of many.
Can I add to that as well? I feel that some of the activities were So there was a lot of playing, and the music was there as well. Although I think that we at least bombed the music bit. It just didn't work very well in our team, but we tried. And I feel that the play is already therapeutic in itself. So it might not seem like a very therapy sort of thing to do, but it depends on what you're trying to heal. But I think that the community bit and bringing people in contact with each other is a really big aspect. But I don't have a background like Katarzyna, so. Ilse?
Yes, I would like to add on this. This is the word therapy. It's we see it more like you need to go there, so you do this, and then you will get there. And with forest therapy, I feel it's a bit different. It goes in all directions depending what the people need. Apparently, it's more like opening up the people that they know themselves what they need and to go there. And it's more like giving them the strength to be in contact via being contact through nature and people to themselves. So this three connections that gives them the insight, more the light where to go to. And this is therapeutic, but it's different from a therapy where you have to go there, you do this and you have to go there. Most of people don't know where they have to go. They don't feel well, but it's unclear. So there is something different there.
I think it can depend of the algorithm, because like in any different kinds of ecotherapy, like dogotherapy with dogs, or with horses, hippotherapy, you can have algorithm, or you can be in real contact, and it's also healing. So I think we are used to following algorithm, but if we don't, it's still working, because nature is not, only mathematics. It's also art. It's also something humanistic. So for me, it's absolutely okay to call it therapy, even if it's not, 1010. It's totally different, and why not?
I think,
Il-
sorry.
No, I'm just asking Ilse if she's drinking the 20 euro tea.
Waiting for visitors to share this. I'm not drinking it like
I know.
You
Just
can come
because you're
over.
back to Korea, you might have decided to open the 20 euro tea and savor the
Okay.
moment.
Yeah,
Go for it.
Martina, you were saying.
I just wanted to say that I think it depends country from country. For me, therapy is still connected to psychology, psychotherapists, and I still have a trouble with the naming. And I like the discussion in the end about forest-based practice, forest-based well-being practice. But I think it would take time, and but it would be fair. It would be fair, because why I was saying about these forest therapies, because in Czech there is it is us forest mind, and there are people who have got this United States education, and I was telling to our people forest mind that they should not say that they are doing forest therapy, because they are doing forest mind, and it is not fair for the people who pays the money and are doing the United States way of forest therapy. But now, when I see how many therapists is there, I would love to have completely another name for all this, like this forest-based practice or whatever. But it would take time to change it, I think.
I'm just thinking, because I'm doing a training in sensory motor psychotherapy, particularly for working with trauma. I'm a psychologist, and they have a model where they talk about the core organizers in a human being, and trying to connect with these different levels of experience. So it would be cognitions, movement, 5 sense experience, sensations, emotion. And as I listened to the different kinds of exercises that you were doing, particularly in Korea, and experiencing, I think it's amazing because I think you are accessing these different, what they call organizations of experience. And the idea is that we need to be accessing these different levels of experience for healing. Actually, you can't just be in on one experience like movement or another experience like emotions. So I think it's all therapeutic, and I think it has a really holistic feel for me to be including or allowing all these different kinds of experiences in forest therapy. It's wonderful, really.
Thanks, Ingrid.
Can I just add, because what I'm hearing people saying and what I'm recognizing in a field, if you want to call it that, excuse the pun, in the field that we're in, these are nature-based therapeutic processes that people are creating. They're models of a therapeutic model, and there isn't a therapy, like there isn't a science. It's that it's a model of therapeutic processes, and I think if we, maybe it's about looking at having an umbrella over nature-based therapeutic models. So they are therapy, but they're therapy based on therapeutic models that are nature-based. To me, the forest is the environment, and we know from looking at cells. If you put healthy cells in a toxic environment, those healthy cells deteriorate. They stop growing, and eventually they'll die. But if you take unhealthy cells and you put them in a healthy environment, they grow and they flourish and they reproduce. And so to me, bringing people into the forest at the baseline level is you're changing someone's environment, and you're allowing all of our cells within the body to flourish and start growing. And that is a basic, that is a therapy, but it's a nature-based reality that if you put cells into a healthy environment, even if they're toxic, they've been infected by toxicity, just to put them into a new environment. And to me, that's the importance of forest therapy, is you're bringing people into an environment that, whether they know it or not, their bodies, their cells are going to start to positively respond to that. So they're therapeutic models, I think.
Thanks, Ian. Good points. Jim, can I ask you, I don't want to go, well, we are already in the definitions discussion, but we were on the last evening in Korea, we were talking about the forest-based well-being interventions. And myself and Katarzyna gave you some pointers on what we thought might work better. Did you have any time to think about other alternatives?
Actually, I suggest forest-based intervention. So I call it 4B. After that, you give me you give me an, what can I say? Your opinion. So you told me intervention is so scientific. So how about you practice? So then I thought forest-based intervention and practice. At the time, I can call it 4-bit. I think we need more discuss what is the best term to explain our activities. So it will be one of the model. Yes.
I have some creative idea to suggest.
Yes, please.
Because I come from a marketing and communications background. A lot of times we're, as scientists and researchers, we're trying to explain in the name what it is and what it does. But from a audience perspective, it really has no appeal. Like if you use a simple word like Google as a word, as a brand name, it doesn't really mean anything, but it is appealing and it sticks in the head. So rather than trying to have a name which scientifically explains what it is and what it does, having something which is fun and immensely recallable could be a better idea. Something like yoga. It's a simple 4-letter word, but you say yoga and people know what it is, rather than trying to say forest-based intervention and practice, then it's difficult to stick in your head.
But even yoga means something, so it should still be a word that means something.
Well, somebody gave it meaning, right? The marketing guys gave it meaning. It doesn't really mean anything as such. I mean, every word means something because somebody made it mean something. So you could easily have something like Foley and say Foley means whatever. But that's just a creative idea, maybe for when we're in the forest and the forest spirits tell us.
But then what is going to be this beautiful one word?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
It makes me think about Shinrin-yoku, you know. This is the name that is most commercialized and mediated. So do we want everything what we've seen this morning to call Shinrin-yoku and to sell on this name?
Why don't you, Jin, answer that?
Because honestly, no one of us separately has capacity to invest into marketing. Whatever name we decide today to create this morning, we will never be able to market to be known as Shinrin-yoku, no? That was worked out in last, 5, 7, 8 years?
But I think that like when you say Shinrin-yoku, it's already like, for me it is Japan. This name, so it should be more, it should be untouched to any country, I think.
I guess forest therapy became also kind of fashionable because I recognize it in many different countries. And I guess maybe it started from ANFT, from AMOS, because it was Association of Nature and Forest Therapy. But still, we have it in China, we have it in Hong Kong, we have it in Europe as well. And I also observed it was more popular form during the Korean conference, that it was forest therapy, not forest bathing, not forest intervention or something. And I wonder if we're not too much afraid of forest therapy name, because we are connecting into psychotherapy, which is totally different thing, because we have like physiotherapy, we have dogotherapy, we have different kinds of therapy. But we, in our European, I think, approach, we are trying to make it more psychotherapeutic, which is not true, because forest therapy is not psychotherapy. We can have eco-psychotherapy. Eco-psychotherapy is like having psychotherapy in the forest together in partnership with the forest. And this is the thing. But I guess forest therapy is simple and kind of fashionable. So I'm sticking to it after Korea. Before I was not, because before it was like Shinrin-yoku, forest bathing. But after that, I recognize it's so simple. And like as Nitin says, everybody knows what is it about. And then we can create more detailed scientific definition and discuss it and change it somehow, maybe. But simple things are good sometimes.
I think it's really important to hear this from Katarzyna, who has a medical background, who says this, because it's a different story that somebody, a layman like myself, would go and say, "Oh, we'll just call it all therapies." But when we recognize that there are therapeutic elements in the forest mind walks, for example, or the forest bathing walks, even if it's not a psychotherapist who's guiding this walk, then we can indeed call it therapies. And then we can basically put a lot of things underneath it and just specify. But I think this kind of statement has to come from somebody who has who's standing in those boots who can say that.
But if I can add, like Mila, she's here too, and she knows the situation better. But like in Lithuania, there's clear differentiation coming on, and there's law being prepared that forest therapy will be the activity that is attributed only to certified forest therapists. And if I don't have this certification, if I am IFT trained guide, offering my activity in Lithuania and calling it forest therapy, I would be subjected to infringement of law, because I will be offering illegal activity, not having forest therapy certificate approved by Lithuanian Health Science University. And then, yes, so it's a legal issue that is subject to infringement of law. So it's not just, how we call it, but these legal aspects too that go together, depending on country and national law. That health law is always national law binding. There's no European law or international health law,
Thank you. Any other thoughts on this?
Yeah, I'm thinking about scientific papers, because we have a lot of, in research in PubMed, a lot of scientific papers with forest therapy definition. And when you have this chapter, material and methods, it is very well described what exactly happened. And I guess many of these activities were not conducted by certified specialists, but by some people who are scientists who design it. But still, it was forest therapy, and it was a scientific article, and it was published. So I wonder if it is okay if this group of people from one country try to define the whole word in international definition. I'm not saying it's not okay, but I'm just wondering what to do with this kind of situation, because in Lithuania it can be understood by some group of people like this, but we have many scientific works that are doing something else. So I guess do we all of us should follow this, or can we do our stuff and make field for discussion? I'm just wondering.
Anyone with an answer to that? Mila.
Hello, I'm Mila from Lithuania, as Vitalia already mentioned. So I run a forest therapy and education center, and I don't have any medical background or psychiatry or psychology background. So as Vitalia mentioned, that in Lithuania we have this training in Lithuanian Health University going on of nature and forest therapy guides. And what they want to do, it's not only like legally binding to people, like to guides who can guide the forest therapy walks and who can call themselves forest therapists. So they want to do that, that only people with medical background could do this, even not psychologists, So that's why we need to have this discussion. Is the word therapy already, related to medical background? And also we had a lot of discussions with Katarzyna about all these things, and what I liked, what she told, that we could just define forest therapy work or forest bathing or anything, guiding work as absolutely separate profession, not related to any, psychiatrist or psychology work or whatever. So it's just for discussion. And also I would like to invite you all to the International Forest Therapy Congress, the 6th Forest Therapy Congress, which will take place in Lithuania in September. So it will be at the end of September, and I can post the information on International Forest Therapy Days Facebook, I guess, if any one of you would like to come, to have this discussion further. So thank you.
Thanks, Mila. Oh yeah, Ilse. And we are going to round up so that we can all go to the forest or to sleep or wherever we need to be at around 6 minutes.
Yes, what I want to add there, that there are so much different levels to talk about. So it's difficult to have this conversation in one line, because I feel that we're missing then another line, which is not possible to do all the lines in the same conversation. And I think there, like how I see this forest therapist, it's also good to not to have this posture of a therapy. Sometimes when you come up like a human, then people also bring up much more strength in themselves, and otherwise when they feel this is a therapist, then they like in this position of following. And we saw it now in the program which I was presenting on nature connectedness. The more space you give to people, the more space they also take for finding their power. And when you have this called therapist, when it's more like an expert, it's another connection than be as just a human who has a deep connection with nature and shows this experience to the people, and that the people can tune in that experience of the guides, and more and less into this mental state of understanding. So there is also this level which can be forgotten if we go all in this like a therapist and all this thing. It for me, it feels that there is a bit of distance then, and this I just wanted to add.
And I want to add to that as well, that this is something that is coming up in so the research that Ilse is doing, I'm participating in it, looking at the guide skills. And that's something that I feel that it's very important in this exactly placing someone sort of as an exemplary role, because the guide or therapist, facilitator, whatever, is also on a journey. So it's actually there's processes happening on both sides. Nobody's really, the other one is just holding the space, as we say, or opening the door, as IFT has coined the term. So I think it's a really important point that you're bringing up, Ilse.
We started supervisions, nature-based supervisions in Poland, and it's not only for psychotherapists who are making eco-psychotherapy in the forest, but for every forest bathing and forest therapy guide who wants to do it. And we do it as a group supervision and as individual for people who want to make their work more professional. So maybe this can be also supportive.
This is really good stuff. I'm trying to listen and read the chat as well. And I'm going to end my thought with the intervention and practice. Maybe we can use both. For acute situations, you need an intervention, and then practice is something that you make a way of life of it, which is what our theme was for the summer's IFT days. Another whole other thing that I want to just throw in there is that in IFT days, we last summer we had a day of not day of. Sorry, I'm confused because I see somebody just passed by here. So what we wanted to do was we wanted to create local events, because we didn't want to have send people flying around the globe. So there's that aspect as well. Are we creating another stream of people flying around the world? Although it's very important to come face to face together, and we just did that, but with a little bit of, is that the best way we can do and organize this? So I just want to throw that in there, and how can we deal with that? FOMI against FOMO. Okay.
Now he's just randomly throwing in ideas.
Just mixing it up. We have some nice closing words, Nitin, to bring it all together.
Okay, I have a song for everyone. It's a Tibetan song.
Are you going to sing finally, Nitin? Or should we?
Time to sing.
It's a
Alone.
musical.
This? Okay. So please, thank you everyone for joining, and please stay tuned. Our next circle is going to be in January sometime, and continue conversing around important topics. And if you have suggestions, or do you want to present something in our circle, get in touch. For if you're watching this on video as well, foresttherapydays@gmail.com. Get in touch with us, and then we can make the space available for them in the monthly circles. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, everyone.
Lovely to see you all.
Yeah,
Thank
really
you.
lovely to see you.
Nice
It was
to
great
reconnect.
see you.
I
Bye-bye.
hope
Bye.
I hope next time to hear Nitin sing, because it is not fair.
Yes.
Yes.
And Eric says hi to everybody. So he asked, Mom, say hi to everybody who was in Korea. So yeah.
Una is in a band practice because she has her first concert today. So she would have probably been here today, but yes.
So,
Bye.
Okay, love.
Recording.